Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at what's called the Cartesian plane. So we usually refer to it as the XY plane, or that's what it's most commonly called, but it is also called the Cartesian plane. Cartesian. Okay? So it's named after René Descartes. René Descartes. That is not actually important information, and I don't know if I spelled it right. So what is important is that the horizontal axis, horizontal of course meaning side to side, that is called the x-axis, and then the vertical axis, vertical meaning up and down, is called the y-axis. Okay. The x-axis and y-axis meet at the origin, we call it origin, okay, which is just the point 0, 0. Okay. All points can be labeled with coordinates. And then they can be expressed as ordered pairs, which is x, y. Remember that the x goes first, the side to side goes first, then the up and down, because it is in alphabetical order. The XY plane is divided into 4 quadrants, and they are called quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not the most original names, but that's what they're called. You're always going to label the axis and mark the scale as shown on the XY plane, although you'll see we have some errors on the one that's drawn for you. But anyway, these right here, labeling the axis, marking the scale, these are what you're doing for communication marks. So on any sort of test or quiz or whatever it is, you need to make sure that you have your y labeled, your y is labeled, your x is labeled, just like that. You just have to put them there, and then you have to have some kind of scale like that. Okay, that is where your communication marks come from. Okay, so we've got a little activity here that we're just going to go through together. Now you'll notice that the when I printed this to a PDF, somehow the grid didn't quite line up, and so it's a little messed up, but we're going to pretend that these are all nice points. We can figure this out. So first of all, we're going to state the coordinates of point H. Now point H is, we're going to pretend it's right there. And so we say, what is the x value? So we do the x value first, which is -6. And then we say, what is the y value? So we go up next, and we're at 7. So you must put a comma between the two, and then you put them in brackets. You must have them in brackets. It is not correct notation if they're not in brackets. Okay? And that would be a communication problem as well if you didn't do that. All right, so let's take a look at M, which again, I'm just going to make it a bigger dot so that it actually hits the grid okay. And so we're going to go -6 again, but this time we're going to go down 4. So we have -4. Okay. Point Q, which is right there. You'll notice there is no side to side. So remember, if there is no side to side, if it's on that y-axis, then your x-axis is just 0. And then we go down 5, so we're at -5 for the y. Okay. Our k, which is right there, is going to be 5 over, and then it goes up by 4. And we have our p right there, which goes 3 over, but then it goes down 3 this time, so -3. And finally, we have R, which is right there. Again, this one's on the axis. This time it's on the x-axis, though. So we go over the 1 because it's at 1, and then there is no up or down, so it will be 0. All right. So just on here, we're going to label the quadrants. All right. We said it was labeled quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first quadrant is going to be just this positive quadrant, positive, positive. Okay, that's the one. As long as you can remember that, you should be able to get the others, because we just start counting around. There's quadrant 2 right there, quadrant 3 right there, and quadrant 4 right there. Okay, check. All right, the last thing we're going to do here is we are going to graph some points. So we're going to graph A, which is 2, 3, over 2, up 3. I'm going to I'll use blue. We'll go 2, 3, so it's going to be right there. And when you label a point like this, it gives you the coordinates. Sometimes we write the coordinates right on. You don't have to. If it's got a letter, you can label your point just using the letter, like all the ones in the example were. All right, but you do want to make sure you label the point. Again, that's a communication thing, okay? And so then for B, we have right here, we got 5, negative 1, so we go over 5, down 1, which brings us right there, and that's point B. Point C is negative 2, so we're going to go the other way. We're going to go that way, negative 2, and then we go up 3, which takes us right there, which put a C. Negative 4, negative 5 for D, so we go over to negative 4 and down 5, which puts us right there. E is 0, 3, so there's no side to side. Then we go up 3, which puts us right there. There's point E. And then finally, and again, the spacing didn't work out quite right here. The formatting's a little messed up. But we've got negative 4, 0, so we go over to negative 4 right there. There is no y value, so we just stay right there on the axis, and that is F. And that's it. So that's it for today. So until next time, go Sabres.